I love it. I love it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the live. Here we are rolling into 2023. Is that even real, bro? Like this year felt like it went through an entire week. Today, I've got Cody Barton, my business partner in multiple endeavors. We've got a lot of things that have happened this year and a lot of things that we plan on doing in the coming year. So for everybody that's joining in, thank you for joining in. Should have probably between 400 and 600 people show up tonight on a YouTube live. Got a couple of exciting things that I did today. Some exciting things that we're working on in the new year, and we wanted to talk about setting goals. Cody Barton, my partner, is going to be breaking down some goal setting aspects, some things that he goes through when he's setting goals and how he structures all of those things. So we're going to teach you guys some fun stuff, maybe do a little bit of Q&A. So if you guys have questions in the side chat, please give us some of those in the side chat. This is not Sunday service. This is not wholesale hotline. There are no rules. We are just talking about 2023 coming up. So we're super excited about hanging out with you guys, little live before we wrap up for the year. This will be our last live of 2022. Did you know that, Cody?
Damn.
Crazy,
That's
huh?
crazy. It's just crazy how fast this year's went by. I mean, I literally feel like it was like just January and then here we are.
Here's what I want to do. As Cody's preparing a couple of things for you guys, we're going to go through a little 30-minute education. We'll be done here in less than an hour, guys. So hold tight with us, hang tight. We'll have a lot of fun. Here's what I want. We got 400 people in here. Tell me, what is your number one goal for 2023? Cody's going to show you how he structures his goal setting. We're going to talk about that for a little bit, but I want to hear your goals. I want to see what your biggest achievement is for 2023, and I'll break down some of mine. Cody and I have a new relationship. I don't know if we haven't even talked about this, but I'm going to talk about it for a minute. All right, guys. So here's a couple of things that Cody and I are going to be doing. We have a new relationship, and I convinced Cody to start buying property outside of the state of Arizona. Okay. So Cody and I own a couple of businesses together. So let's say LLC number 1, okay, LLC number 2, LLC number 3, right? Let's say Cody and I think we own 4 businesses together. Maybe that's it. I think that's it. So these 4 businesses, they produce a good amount of profit, right? That's what the goal of business is. Some of these are fixing and flipping. Some of these are BRRRR strategy, rental properties, title and escrow companies, software companies, service companies, etc. Oh man, I guess we own more than that.
Yeah.
Dang, dude. You're like, why are you selling our partnership short? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, it don't matter. They're all doing their thing.
Okay, cool. Right. So let's say we have these businesses, okay? And we have these individual LLCs that we own together. Let's say there's probably 6 now. They shell out a good amount of profit. Now, what Cody and I are going to be doing next year, we're going to be having a lot of fun with you guys, is primarily for the sub 2 community. This is what I'll be doing. I will be teaching and showing you guys this stuff live. Cody and I are going to show you guys how we are going to put our money into an infinite banking process, and then utilize infinite banking to then go buy real estate through our profits, going through an infinite banking process. And Cody and I will be buying a lot of properties in Florida together. Most of them will end up being new builds. And we will be buying turnkey rentals together, which will be a lot of fun. So we don't have to find the deals. We don't have to manage or get the tenants, do any of that kind of stuff. We'll end up actually paying a premium to go out and acquire these turnkey rentals. Cody, what do you think we could do next year in acquiring those rentals just in that one business?
Target, would be between 40 to 50 properties. So I guess as far as like total
40
value,
to 50 properties in 1 year?
Yeah, I mean, it's a stretch, but
okay, so what is it? Is it 40 or is it 50?
Let's call it 40.
Look at Cody being conservative. I like it. Okay. So we will acquire 40. Are they single family or are they duplexes, or is it a combination?
That's 40 units. So a combination of single family and duplexes through the builder that we're going to work with out there.
Okay, cool. So actually, this deal that we just bought, it's actually a turnkey deal, and the person we bought it through, they actually gave us terms on this deal, right? We bought it creatively.
Yeah, we bought it creatively, like some creative builder terms up front, and then we'll refi it in a few months.
So check that out, guys. There's going to be a lot of those opportunities coming up in the new build world. I actually just saw Joel say the same. He says, this will be the best time to be alive. I completely agree with this. And there's a handful of things that are going to be coming up in 2023. I want to talk about that tonight as well. Give you guys a heads up of things what we're going to be talking about. Joel also says, guess what I've been hearing? Seller finance opportunities like crazy on new construction. Cody and I just gobbled one up in Florida. We just bought one together in good old city of Tampa area. And it looks like we'll probably end up buying close to 40 of these single family and duplex opportunities because they are new builds, and we will be getting crazy good terms on new builds over the next 12 months. We will be documenting those. Triplet Blessing says, can you explain a HELOC? HELOC is an acronym, which means it stands for something. HELOC means home equity line of credit. So if I own a property, this is definitely not the Zoom we want or the live we want to be doing this answer on, but I'll allow it. Let's say Pace owns a house and he has a loan with Wells Fargo for $200,000, right? And then the house is worth $400,000. Zillow says it's worth $400,000. Well, I could go to Wells Fargo or I could go to another bank and I could say, hey, I got a $200,000 delta here, which would be considered equity. And I can go get a home equity line of credit against that equity. And they would say, hey, we'll give you 100,000 of that equity that you can use like a line of credit. Like you can pull the money off, put the money back, pull the money off, put the money back. That's a home equity line of credit, HELOC. Okay. Hopefully that helped you understand that. Okay, cool. This is awesome. By the way, I got a text message from Kirk and Elena Tang said in 12 months of being in the sub 2 community, they bought 20 rentals in their first 12 months in real estate.
Wow. That's freaking impressive.
Here's what's impressive too, guys. Here's one of the other things that we're going to be doing. I want to highlight this to you guys because I think that this is content that you guys need to see, hear, watch, etc. This is another thing that we will be bringing to the table. I, as you guys already know, am a big believer in show me, don't tell me. Don't tell me how you're doing things. Show me how you're doing it. Okay. And so in 2023, we are going to amplify how much we are showing you guys, especially inside of our community. Not so much on YouTube. The challenge with YouTube is that YouTube in the free world is they don't want us to name our addresses, and we can't call sellers. We can't do a lot of things on the open forums because either A, people go around our deals and circumvent us, or B, I did have a really amazing situation happen today. I'll talk to you guys about, but there's sensitive data that we talk about when we're breaking down businesses. Okay. So for example, Melina, she says, what's the framework of building or starting a business? If you guys looked on Instagram today, I bought a business, or I'm in the process of buying a business with $0 down. Literally, I will have $0 in this business. And this business, I can talk about it because nobody knows the address and nobody knows the name of the person. Cody, can I break it down for you for a minute?
Yeah, break it down, dog.
All right, cool. So here's the breakdown of this business. It's really interesting. And this is what Cody and I are actually going to be doing a lot more of. Okay. Kenya Simon says, are you still buying an AZ, or has that market dried up? That market will never dry up. It's the greatest market on the planet. We buy here all the time. Yes. Okay. So I have a business. It's a dog grooming business. Okay. And the seller's name, let's say his name is Tom. And I found Tom. I won't tell you how I found Tom just yet because I haven't closed the deal. So Tom has a dog grooming business. He has multiple challenges. He's not great at hiring. He's not great at delegating. He's not great at automations. He literally does everything himself. Some of you knuckleheads in the audience tonight are like, ooh, is he talking about me? Am I Tom? Yeah, a lot of you guys are Tom. Okay. A lot of you guys are Tom. You are not great at hiring. You're horrible at delegating. You're fearful of hiring because you're like, oh, that costs money. Okay. Well, the way we talk about hiring a lot of times doesn't cost you money. It saves you money or makes you a ton of money. Okay. So check this out. Pay attention to this. Literally. I love people that say literally. Okay. So check this out. Hiring, delegating, automating. I go to this dog grooming shop today and I spend 2 hours there roughly. He bought the business originally from somebody in 2017. And when he bought the business, there were 3 other groomers. And now today he's the only groomer. They've hired multiple people, but it's not their skill set. It's not something they've been trained on. And Cody, as you understand, hiring great people is the only way you can grow a business. You can't do anything yourself at
Yep,
the end of the day.
100%.
I believe that if you are the only person in your business, you don't have a business, you have a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to have a business, you have to have something you own rather than have something own you, right?
If you're the only one doing everything, it's just a hustle. Like you're in a hustle. That's it.
It's a hustle. That's a great way to describe it. So here's what we're going to plan on doing. I'm acquiring this dog grooming business, and I challenged Cody to show people, not tell people, but I challenged Cody to show people how to take a business or start a business for 30 days, 2 hours a day, and essentially break down the process every single day of how do I take a business that's failing or take a business that's brand new and in 2 hours a day over a 30-day period, turn that into a thriving business that needs less and less and less of your time. Okay. So I can't talk to you about the numbers of the deal because I'm in the process of negotiating. But what we're going to be doing is I think we're going to be helping 100 business owners in the new year. I think that's the goal, right? Helping 100 business owners. I think we have a waiting list for this.
Yeah. No, there's ever since you spoke about it one time, we have a lot of people that we're trying to sort through to work on this project with.
Okay, cool. So here's what we're planning on doing is we're planning on going through multiple businesses next year and going through their business 2 hours every single day for 30 days straight. It'll end up not being Sundays or maybe not even Saturdays, but it'll be Monday through Friday, month by month by month, and it'll be a new business every single month. So I'm hoping that month number 1, okay, month number 1 will be, what do you think we should do in January? Should we do a
What
real
type
estate
of
business or should we do my dog grooming business? Should we do an insurance business? What should we do in January?
We have 3 on the we have 3 different ones that we have on the docket for January. Just getting with the team to decide what we want to move on. It's either going to be a real estate, insurance, or the dog grooming, depending
Dog
on that
grooming
deal.
one would be super freaking easy, by the way. I already have like 10 things that need to be done there. I'm in there. He's dog grooming. He's picking up the phone. And how does he book all his appointments? There's not a computer in the whole entire building.
Just text people and like, yo,
Not
show
even
up.
that, bro. He's literally writing in a planner all of their appointments. It is so ripe for tripling and quadrupling that business that I think by the end of summer, not only will that office, the building, have 3 groomers cranking out doing triple the amount of, maybe 5 times the amount of business they're doing today. Okay. But I think that there is a possibility from the profits from those 5 groomers. I think you can go out and get 2 mobile grooming trucks to start going out to people's houses that don't like dropping their dogs off and actually doing home visits and literally take a business that is doing, it's probably a $50,000 a year. Like the owner takes home $50,000 a year to making it so it's a business that makes a couple $100,000 a year and it's automated. So I talked a lot about this in October, November, December, where I was seeing a lot of people talk about buying businesses that were not doing well. And I really want to show people the back end processes, the back end of what does it really look like to run a business on a day-to-day operation. And what does that feel like, smell like, taste like, and document all of that kind of stuff. And so that's what Cody and I are planning on doing. So guys, here's what I want to do. While we've got 700 people, more people than we planned on showing up here tonight. So welcome, welcome. What do you guys think? This is interesting. Alexis says, are you buying it or consulting for equity? Alexis, I'm taking over the business. Okay. Here's what I'm doing. I'll break down the structure of the deal. And we'll give you guys more of this. I have this cool thing that we're doing. I'm going to give you guys a little link here in a second. So what I'm doing is I'm coming in. I will probably let this old owner stay on as like a 10% owner. I'm coming in as a 90% owner with 0 down and 0 payments on the business. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my knowledge of running a business to the table and automation. And I'm going to bring also my marketing brain. And I'm also going to bring my bookkeeper. This is a huge thing, a bookkeeper. And we're also going to bring in somebody. The automation part is we're going to bring in a team member that will actually do the automation part. Like they don't have a website that's bringing in stuff. They don't have marketing. It's basically a lot of word of mouth. It is one of these businesses that like you guys will just be blown away. And then I also realized how many of these businesses are out there that people literally, I could just walk into a business and go, give me 90% of your business. I'll let you stay on as 10% owner. I want to give you $0 down. Let me just bring my knowledge and expertise and use your current resources you already have, move things around, change the way you're this, change the way you're that, add a computer. Literally adding a computer will double their sales. Adding an automated text message blast to all their customers. They don't even have a database of all their customers. It's like they've been in business for 6 years. They've been in business 6 years. And I go, where's your database? And he points at a planner. And I'm all
over there.
Yeah, they're all in that planner thing. I go, so how are you reaching out to them like to do a promotion? He goes, well, when I get a chance, I just start calling like my favorite customers. I'm like, all right. Literally by just adding a text blast system once a month to their processes and saying, hey, we're running a special, first people to book, the first 2 weeks of the month, get $10 off their dog grooming or whatever it is, right? Dan Carter says a CRM. So showing you guys all of that stuff and the behind the scenes is one of the things that we're going to be doing. We're going to do this with 12 businesses for the year. So goal number 1 is Cody and I are going to buy 40 single family rentals this coming year together. I'll probably buy another 20 to 30 by myself in other varying parts of the country, all creative finance. And then I think the only flips that we're going to do are the ones for the TV show this coming year.
Yeah.
I don't think flips are going to be the move this year, right? And what you do, there you go. Ooh, this will be great. Alexa says, I want to challenge you to do this with a B2B company. 1 out of the 12 you do, different dynamic. Okay, Alexis, I'd love to do that. Give me
100%. Only service businesses. I don't want to touch anything with a product. No physical goods, no restaurants. Like that makes me want to vomit. Like, no, thank you. Like, I don't want
no restaurants.
I don't want brain damage. No
physical food.
Products.
No like government oversight over the food and drug administration and all
or
that kind
HIPAA or any of that regulated nonsense.
Yes, absolutely. Can we seller finance with these bigger builders like Shattuck Homes and First Texas, for example? Yes, Joel. We've talked about that at the beginning, my brother. Thank you. Gyms, that's an interesting one. I think gyms is a really big one. I think gyms, it's a recurring business. I think we should have a challenge to acquire a gym this year. Okay. Anyway, so here's what we're doing. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take about a dozen other clients. We're going to do one for ourselves, and then we're going to take on 11 businesses, real estate business, insurance businesses, some of your guys' businesses that are all in here. We're going to take you and we're going to go 30 days on your business, 2 hours a day, and actually help you automate and build out your business. And then for the people that want to watch this live, code, what is it called? It's start with, no. What, do you have a link for that?
For what? Sorry?
For the thing that we've been talking about.
Oh, start with VAs?
Oh, start with VAs. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we are going to bring in, I think it's 100 people, and we're going to bring people into this 2-hour live every single morning that Rayana, Cody, and myself are going to run basically all year long. And what we're going to do is we're going to take on only 100 people. It's going to be small. Okay. So if you guys go to start with VAs, I think there's a waiting list there. Is that correct?
No, this is actually like we're allowing it only today. Everyone on the team was pissed off because we are allowing them to just get into it today because it's supposed to be tomorrow. So
Oh, dang. Okay, I got it. So I guess I wasn't tracking on any of that stuff. So I think what we should do is vote for the side challenge. Okay, for the side comments. Everybody in the side comments, here's what I want. We got 3 businesses right now. I think what we'll do is by tomorrow we'll have 200 or 300 people that are trying to get into this thing, but we're only taking 100. What I would do is let's vote. Which business should we break down first for 30 days, right? In the first month of the year. Should we break down the dog grooming business and how to amplify that and automate that 2 hours every single day? It'll be with the owner of the business, with the employees of the business. It's not talking about theory and talking about any of that stuff. It is literally working on the business every single day. Number 2, an insurance business. This is an existing insurance business that actually makes a lot of money. And we want to double or maybe even triple the sales for that insurance business. That one, I feel like we shouldn't vote. I think we should vote on, but I don't think it's going to get a lot of votes because it's like, how challenging is that? That's easy, right? It already has a lot of income coming in.
there's a lot of this is like pretty even so far in the votes.
Dang, okay. Real estate. And then the third one, okay, 700 people in here. I want to see 700 votes. The third one will be a real estate business, not our own. It will be a real estate business from somebody who actually joins the 100-person group that we're going to go through and show the lives to. So if you guys have a real estate business, we're going to actually take somebody out of that group and we're going to show you guys step by step how to automate your business. Now, I shouldn't say automate your entire business. You'll always have to be involved, right? Every business that we have, you still have to be involved, sometimes an hour a day, sometimes an hour a week, right? Depends on the business, depends on your resources, your personality, and what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to scale rapidly, you might have to be in your business a lot. But if you're just trying to automate and do a handful of deals every month, or let's say Cody and I are buying 40 rentals together next year, we'll end up probably combined by 100. But that business will somewhat be automated, right? We won't have to, we already have teams in place, but that's not what we want for the real estate business. What we want is we want to take somebody out of this list, somebody that joins startwithvas.com. And what we want to do is take somebody that's kind of new, not kind of new. I think the better challenge would to take somebody that is in real estate and has never done a deal. Do you think that would be too challenging?
I mean, we got to I feel like getting into someone's business that's established and then helping them delegate because they're the knucklehead that's doing business, but just needs to scale and get more hands off versus the person that's never done a deal is like, what's escrow? And like, we're having to like answer like basic things. Like we need to like get to building right away.
I think that's a good point. I think that what we want is we want somebody that has at least the foundation. Do they have to? Alexis, here's what's funny. She says, are VAs applicable in every business? Alexis, let me answer that question very specifically. I don't know a single friend of ours that is doing anything over $200,000 a year in sales that does not have a full-time VA. I don't know anybody that's doing $1 million a year in sales that doesn't have a team of VAs. I don't know anybody that has $10 million a year in sales that doesn't have at least 20 or more VAs. It is an absolute necessity, requirement, 100% requirement. And here's why. Americans are lazy. Here's what Americans are. They're either one of two things. They're incredibly lazy or entitled, don't want to work. The government pays them more money than they could make by just doing a little bit of effort. Or 2, here's the bigger one. Okay. Ooh, I would love to do Vanessa's e-commerce business.
Ooh, that would be interesting. Vanessa, DM me on Instagram, Cody Barton Official. I would love to hear about what you need for that. That would be a fun one to do.
That'd be really good. Or, okay, Here's what's funny. I work in a food service industry. They don't use VAs. I know a lot of friends that own foods for restaurants that use VAs. They use VAs for their booking, their billing, their bookkeeping, all sorts of things. Their automations in terms of their websites, the updates, the new menus, the designs. Everybody uses VAs. When was the last time you ran into a business that doesn't have VAs doing most of the menial work?
I don't want to call them out, but it's usually the boomers generation where they're like, I don't have a goddamn website. I just give out my card. It's a relationship business.
Right. So anyway, it's two categories. So it's either one, people that are entitled are Americans, or two, here's the kicker. This is what we find is that every American nowadays just wants to own their own business. They just want to own their own business. And so what you find is like you get, especially with video editors, they get to a point where they're like, I'm pretty good video editor. I'm just going to work for myself. Right. And so they want to work just as hard as they can until they make enough money, or they just don't want to work with you because they're like, okay, this is hard. Challenge is, how do you find people that want to work with you for 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, that by the end of 6 years, they don't want to be the owner of your entire business? The answer to that is virtual assistants. Okay. Mary says, how do you become a VA? You don't. If your name starts with Mary and you live in America, you don't become a VA. You hire VAs. Okay. Okay. So Kadi says, how do I join the challenge? Here's how you join the challenge. I think we're letting in 100 people into this for the year. It's start with VAs.com. Start with VAs.com. It's on the screen. So here's what we're going to be doing. I think I wanted to take one more vote. Okay. This is really good. So Lusum Property says, I have a real estate investing LLC and I hired a VA for 3 months. Didn't work out for me, unfortunately. And the reason being is because people don't know how to manage employees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why is it that one person says, check this out. Jonah says, guys, if I had this 2 years ago, this would have been so sick. Because Jonah has VAs that run his business. Okay. This is also a challenge. Build out your editing team and make a company out of it. We want to. The problem is I think VAs are not the greatest at editing. So because they don't understand the context, the culture, etc.
Like the storytelling and sarcasm and comedy and like those things are challenging.
Okay. So start with VAs.com. Ooh, this one's good. Munif. I think the problem with Munif is he's kind of like me, is that he is too nice to his employees. He's not stern enough, and he lets people run all over him because he's like, well, I assume if I'm really nice to people, they'll just do their job.
Yeah. And that's and I was having a conversation with one of our team members this week about this. Is she's being too nice to her team that reports to her. Like they're like giving her BS excuses of like why they couldn't get something done or like why a project was behind, and she's like, okay, well, let's keep going. And I'm like, nah, like that shit needs to be done. Like these aren't negotiations. These are things that need to be done for the company to be successful. So but there's a right way to present that. There's a right and a wrong way to present that, right? And part of, I don't know how much you want to go into, what we've put into, the start with VAs thing, Pace, but
I don't want to go into that at all. I think with 700 people in here, I think what's going to happen is you'll get here's what it is going to happen. Okay. The buying business stuff, I don't want to create a mentorship around buying businesses, but I want to have a place that I can actually go live and talk about buying businesses and managing these businesses and what does that look like. I think this little tribe of 100 people are the people that I want to go live to and say, all right, here's the dog grooming business. We have an insurance business that we're looking to acquire. We have a servicing business, like a mortgage servicing business that we're looking to acquire. My goal in 2023 is to acquire 12 businesses with $0 down and document all of that through a group of 100 other business owners. And so I don't think we have to go through that. Like if people want to come and hang out with us, they can come out with us. So start with VAs.com. Cody, I think what we should do is get into goal setting.
Yeah.
So we talked about a couple of our goals, but I want to go through and give people, a framework and an understanding of how you set goals and something that they can also follow themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
Jason Finch says, who do you recommend for a mentorship for buying businesses, Carl Allen or Cody Sanchez? I can tell you, I like Carl Allen a lot, and I really like Cody Sanchez. I think both of them are really amazing. I don't know anything about their mentorships other than I did pay for Cody Sanchez's $2,000 product, and she has a really great. I love buying people's mentorships. Like I think last year I probably spent $250,000. This year in 2023, I'll spend another couple $100,000. I'm turning off 2 of the masterminds I go to because I've been there twice. I've met all the people. So I'm not going to go to those ones again. What I will be doing is I have a new one. It's called The One Mastermind. It's $100,000, and it's with people that are all have businesses that are generating over $50 million a year. And so, being able to network with people that have figured things out at a very, very high level. So I'm changing out 2 masterminds with those masterminds, but I did pay for Cody Sanchez's $2,000 product, and I haven't had enough time to go through it yet, but I will probably over New Year's weekend. And it's all really good stuff. She's great. So really like Cody. If you guys have suggestions on any of that kind of stuff, am I leaving Avengers? No, I will never leave Avengers. Avengers is also the mastermind that Cody and I run is my favorite mastermind, obviously, because we get to do what we want. What we're really excited about is Big Boy's coming on January 27th to our mastermind. Here we go. Mr. Big Boy right here himself. Boom, boom, boom. That'll be epic from Outcast fame. So we get to do what we want in that mastermind, and we bring in guests that are helping us out in our business. And so it's a lot more hands-on for us, and we love our mastermind. Also, our mastermind is everlasting. So you pay one time, you're in forever, which is cool. Of the masterminds that I go to, I pay a yearly subscription. Avengers is a very different type of mastermind than just real estate. It's more of an experience type of mastermind. It's like they're going to go rent out Fenway Park and have, Mark Wahlberg talk for 2 hours about branding and that kind of stuff. And it's 35 grand a year. Absolutely epic. The relationships I've made in that mastermind alone have made millions for our businesses. So super grateful for that mastermind. I'm not leaving that mastermind. I'm leaving 2 other real estate masterminds. And I'm jumping into some other new ones that I just have been introduced to. Okay. So, anyway, hopefully that helps answer that question. No, I'm not leaving Avengers. Avengers is super dope. Okay. So Roberto says, I'm in 2023, we will purchase our first 100 doors utilizing creative finance with 0 down. Love it. Couple of things before I unleash Cody. Number one, I want to see in the chat, we now have 750 people in here, more than we planned on a random YouTube live in the middle of the week. So good to see you guys. Okay. I want to see what everybody's goal is for this upcoming new year of 2023 before Cody does his breakdown. Okay. I want to see your guys' goals for your big one. Cause I just did a Zoom with the sub 2 students a couple of weeks ago where I broke down every goal of every business that we own. And I spent 3 hours going through this. I went through 2 of our businesses tonight and what we're planning on doing, but I want to see what everybody's big goal is for. Ooh, this is great. Doug Campos says $20,000 in cash flow. Love that. Jonah says $1.2 million this year in income. Tigger, who I love Tigger. She's great. I want to quit my W-2. Buy a multifamily with my friends. Ooh, Carlo. I like that. Buy my mom a house. Now, Andrew Erlinson, this is definitely one that I don't like. I don't like your goal. Not for you. It's probably a really great goal for you, but for me, I'm like, how do I acquire more debt?
Maybe it's bad debt. Maybe it's credit card debt on personal stuff, and maybe it's bad debt.
Maybe it's bad debt. Okay. Quit my W-2. That's a really common one. I really like that. Get myself into a multifamily deal. Paulina, awesome. 30 doors, but first deal next month. I like that. Michelle Rice. Alex Soto, good to see you, brother. Buy multifamily. Cash flowing Airbnb in Arkansas. Ooh, that's easy. That's too easy, Melissa. Buy my first 80 door multifamily. Okay. Acquire our first 5 rental properties. Can't retire from the military yet. Debt-free would be amazing. Okay, cool. Got that. Tyler says 1,000 units next year, Tyler? I love this, bro. I love the scale. I love the scale in which all the community members are just crushing it. I love that he has the balls to just write that down. 1,000 doors. That's so freaking cool. I love that. AK Kyle says AK is Alaska. It's all the same thing, Kyle. Kyle, if you don't live in Arizona, it's all the same. Everything else is all the same except for Arizona. Okay. Buy my first multifamily deal. Build a townhouse development. Philip, DM me. I've got a 75-acre development going on. I'd love to collab with you and talk about that kind of stuff. LT, love to see LT in here. 1,000 doors in multifamily. Jay Jimenez, own 20 properties subject to. Okay, cool. I think my goal for single family creative finance will probably be the same as what I acquired this year, which is close to 50 single family with creative finance. And then multifamily will probably be another 500 to 1,000, something like that. Carolyn and Myron, literally underwriting right now. Love that. Okay. Acquired 10 million. With three, all right. Sub 3% debt.
Ooh.
Affordable tiny house community.
Dope.
Tell me you're a hippie without telling me you're a hippie, Maj. Okay. Will says, get our first sub 2 deal and scale our Airbnb business. I love that. Okay, cool. These are really great goals. I don't dislike any of them. I like all of them. I think some of you guys have not gotten a deal yet, and so you're thinking too small, which is okay. It's okay to think bite size. And then some of you guys are thinking too big, which is exactly what you should be doing, because what's funny is you set out a goal to acquire 500 multifamily, and then you end up acquiring 1,600 in that year, and you realize, oh crap, I was thinking too small. That was us and our team. So you got to think small when you're just starting out, just to get that first deal. But once you get that first deal, that paradigm shift completely changes. It's crazy. Love it. Dominate the Morby method. Love that. Go visit Kyle in Alaska. I think Kyle's in Houston. Medium wave Dave. Oh my gosh. Can I do a shameless plug just real quick? I know that like we just talked about startwithvas.com, but I want to do a shameless plug. Guys, if you want to be on the golf course with Ryan Pineda and myself, I'm speaking at the Tykes event. Let me give you guys this link. It does cost money. I hate to have you spend money, but this is dope. Okay. For any of you guys that are planning on coming to the Tykes event, here's what's going to happen this coming, let's see here. See what he's charging. Okay. There's the link. It's in the side chat. It's wealthyinvestor.com/pace-morby-events. So I guess he's paying me an affiliate code or something. So let me show you guys this just real quick. If you guys come to the Tykes event, you get entered into a raffle. Okay. Do me a favor right now. Okay. Do me a favor. If you guys, any of you guys have your phone out, do me a favor right now. Go into Instagram and DM Ryan Pineda and say, Pace is going to beat your booty, or Pace is going to beat you down. Okay. Everybody, I literally want 500-600 people to DM him right now. Lizeth says, I already got my ticket with Tycoin. Amazing. Very, very cool. Okay. Munif, please, everybody DM Ryan Pineda right now. Everybody DM him. Go on Instagram. Okay. And DM him and say, Pace is going to beat your booty, or Pace is going to give you a beat down, or something along those lines. Just give him a little, get him. This is great. This is exactly what we want. Jammer says Ryan Pineda will get slaughtered. I want to trash talk. He went and played 36 holes of golf yesterday to prepare for our golf match. And what we're going to be doing is, if anybody that's going to Tyke's event, we are going to be doing a raffle this next coming week. And if you guys are going to the Tyke's event, you get entered into the raffle, and 6 of you guys will be invited to the golf course. Come play golf with us. Be my caddy if you're not going to play golf, and spend 4 hours with us on the golf course watching Ryan Pineda and I battle head to head. And then we're going to have lunch afterwards at the clubhouse. So it should be a lot of fun. So Roberto says, I'm VIP. Well, if you are on VIP, I think you get 5 entries into the raffle, just FYI. Marta says, I don't like it. He's trash talking you. I know it's a male competition, but I don't like it. I know I'm going to get my butt kicked, but we're going to talk some trash along the way, Marta. So thank you for watching out for me. I'm okay getting my butt kicked, but it's not going to keep me from talking trash the whole entire week. All right. So, sorry for the shameless plug. I would like to see you guys out in Vegas. It'll be my first speaking event of 2023. All right, Cody, what are we talking about?
So we're going to be going through our goals, right? So I've actually been using, if anyone's familiar with Zig Ziglar, you know, I was mentored a little bit by his son through some events in my early 20s named Tom Ziglar. And so I've actually been using the same framework for goal setting. And I just want to kind of open that up and kind of go through that a little bit. But I've been using the same framework every year for about 7 years now. And so I want to dive into that. And so as we do this, though, I want to make sure that you guys have, you know, something to take notes with. So like pen and paper to do this, or take notes on your computer, wherever you want to do it, because this is an activity that you should be able to do for yourself. You know, Peggy says, love Zig Ziglar. You know, Zig Ziglar is amazing. He was my first, I listened to an audio set, a CD set by Zig Ziglar, like 40 hours of content from him when I was 16. And I was like, holy shit, this is dope. So let's go ahead and dive in. Make sure you have pen and paper or computer ready to take some notes. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's do this. Where is, let's just do entire screen. All right. Can you see? Oh, there we go. Let me make that not look ugly. Can you see my screen, Pace?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. So here's the deal. When we're looking at setting goals, right? Like it always comes down to the foundation. And so one of the things that Zig Ziglar talks about a lot through trainings and programs and in his books is the wheel of life. And so when we look at a wheel in general, obviously, you know, for it to function properly, it has to be perfectly round for it to be able to work. And so with this activity, what I want you to do is, you know, if you have a piece of paper and a pen, or, you know, if you're doing this on your computer, if you could draw on your notepad, draw out, you know, something that resembles this image that I have up on the screen here. And so essentially what you're going to do is you're going to write out each of these areas of your life. So you have, obviously, you have your physical, you have your family, you have your mental, you have your financial, your spiritual, your career, and your personal. And all of these, you know, for you to really get, I don't really believe in a balanced life. You know, I just don't really think that that's, you know, really possible. I think it's more about life integration of having all of the things be able to work together in unison. And I believe in more of seasons of life. Like certain months you're going to be focusing more on work, certain months you're going to be focusing maybe more on your health or family. If you have a new baby, like there's lots of things that happen in our lives. But what this activity that we're doing right now is we're identifying in each of these areas in the wheel of life, where are you at today? And you're going to rate yourself
Ooh,
on a
dang,
scale.
Really? I got to rate myself?
You got to rate yourself.
Where do you start?
So let's just start. Yeah, let's just start with physical. So let's just go through it. Pace, do you want to do? Let me walk you through it, so then I kind of know what other
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
All right. So giving yourself a rating on, you know, physical. So that's everything to do with like your health, right? So that's like your diet, your exercise routine, how you're, you know, if you're having aches and pains, if you haven't, you know, been to the doctor for a checkup in like freaking 3 years, like these are the things that you're contemplating on physical. And so you want to go ahead and rate yourself on, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10.
I give myself a 6 at what I would say on my physical thing. This is always the thing that gets thrown to the side when a business meeting pops up, or even today. Like I planned on going to the gym this morning, because what I'll do is I'll wake up at 3, I'll do all this work until 6, maybe 6:30. I hang out with the girls for an hour and a half. Like my wife and I will take the girls over to Starbucks or drop Asher off at school, and I'll spend a good hour and a half or so with the kids and the family. And then we get back from that like 8. I'll take a couple of phone calls, maybe a Zoom. Then I go, okay, cool. All my morning work is done. All my like pressure relief valve has been, you know, taken care of, like all the things that need to be taken care of. I can now go to the gym feeling great that I don't have anything hankering on me. So I'm like a late gym goer. I like going to the gym at like 9, 10 in the morning. Right.
Yeah.
Also, it's always old people there, which I love hanging with the old people. because number one, I look way stronger than them. And, you know, it's just it's mental. It's good stuff. So anyway, I will choose. This is a problem for me. I will choose to skip out on this. And I can tell
Yeah.
you how I'm currently fixing this. I don't know if that's a conversation we should have.
I think we go through all of these and we
Okay. And
get
then you'll tell me how to
ratings,
make a
and then
goal
we
around
start.
it.
Yeah, then we'll talk about
Okay.
action
I'm a
items around
6.
these. Okay, so 6 out of 10 on physical. So then, let's just go around the right side of the wheel. So then if we look at family, this is like time spent with family, connectedness that you feel. And this could be like whether it's just immediate family or if you are connected with
It
extended
depends
family, if
on the
that's
individual,
important.
right?
Right. Yeah, everyone, this is different for everybody. It's like, what do you feel, your score on a 1 to 10? Or maybe a better question is like, what would your spouse rate you on the scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. I think my wife, because I do spend an hour and a half in the morning with the kids. Like even right before we came on the live, I hung out with my wife for probably 30, 40 minutes. I created an environment where I can be around my kids 3, 4, or 5 times a day. I can jump out of the office for 2 hours, go hang out with Corbin, take her to Target, take her on a little date. I would say that my family stuff is an 8.2. And what I would need to do to be better at that is be more consistent on taking my wife on dates. Like even my wife texted me today and she was like, "Hey, you want to make out?" And I was in a business meeting. And I was
Yeah.
like, I should have less business meetings, more make out meetings with my wife.
I love that. That's great. So we got an 8.2 out of 10 on family. And then then moving over to mental. So this could be, education or, church, if that's something, I'll save church for spiritual. That's more spiritual, but mental is more like your education. So like learning about things that you want to get better at,
Mm.
having maybe it's quiet time for yourself where you're able to, like obviously Jamil, being a good friend of ours, somebody he likes to meditate. That's like a thing that he gets his mental clarity around, right? So like looking at overall attitude, education, creativity, the not feeling of just like overall burnout. So what about that on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would say, dang, overall burnout. I don't really get, everybody says to me, you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. And I'm
And it
like,
doesn't have to be that. It could be like, striving towards like educating yourself more on things or
oh,
like learning,
I'm probably a 9 on this, dude. Like I'm obsessed. I'm investing in myself all the time. I'm flying over the country to meet new people
Yeah.
that know things I don't know. I'm making friends with people that are going to add value to me that I'm lacking. I add value to other people that don't have what I have, and I'm just constantly trying to be a puzzle piece in everybody else's life. So I'd say learning and striving for things I don't know and things I'm passionate about, I would give myself a solid 9 on that.
Love it. Love it. I would agree with that for sure. So then moving to financial. So this is like, having your strategy around like your personal budget, having, maybe it's impulse purchases and like reducing that, or maybe it's increasing it. Maybe it's you need to spend more money. Like that's something I need to do more of, like is actually spend money instead of, just want to invest all of it. That could be like investments, handling finances in a, strategic way, hitting your financial targets. Where do you feel like that on the 1 to 10?
Here's the honest thing. I made great money the last, you know, every year, actually every year in my life. I've never had a problem making money, right? Like except when I was in my early 20s and I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do and I was kind of bouncing between a couple of things, but making money is never my problem. I feel like investing my money is really good too. But I can tell you one thing I've done really poorly, but that like some people would say this is really good. And I also think it's good, but I think there's better things I could do with my money that would have longer lasting effects. So like, for example, this year I gave away $1,005,000. Okay. And how did I give it away? I gave it away by, like, if I was speaking at an event, I would pay for $30,000 of tickets for the sub 2 students to go to these events that I speak at. So they don't feel like they have to buy tickets to come see me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would also get a 3-day education for, obviously coming and then networking with each other. So for me, it was really investing in the community and getting people close together and utilizing my money as a way to provide leadership But I feel like what I could have done better is, like, if I really rethink, if I was gonna give or I was gonna donate money to other people's business or the community, I think that there's longer lasting things that I could have invested my money in for that 30,000 bucks. Like, I could think about this, okay? This is where I'm changing things. For that $1,000,000, I gave away cars, I gave away cash to people that needed it. We bought a couple houses for people that needed it. Um, I traveled around and did, like, big meetups that cost 10,000 and 15,000. I paid for people's tickets. In fact, there's a probably anybody in here that I've ever bought tickets for. Look at this. What was this? A lot of people are saying, yeah. Let's see. Getting in the right room was essential for me. Okay, check it out. Pace, you took a blindfold off of my eyes this year with tickets to events. Thank you for that. So you see, like, I gave a lot of money away, and I see Alexis, it helped a lot of people. But I think that there's better ways that I could utilize that money for. So, for example, I told the sub two students this morning that I'm going to hire a full-time underwriter. Literally 6 hours a day will be available to people. And so I'm just going to reallocate where I'm spending my money. I would say that right now I'm at a 7 in the financial category.
I like that. So 7 out of 10 on financial. So then moving to spiritual, I think, because everyone has a different belief when it comes to spiritual, maybe they believe in God or don't believe in God. I think spiritual comes down to more of like, your connection that you have spiritually, like your inner peace, if church is important, what's that, if that even makes it on a rating, if it's important. Donations, attitude of giving and donations, prayer, or, asking for guidance, or those sorts of things. Those are kind of the things that kind of fall in the spiritual realm.
I would say that I'm definitely low on this. Giving and donating and all those kind of things and being spiritually connected to other people is really high. But also, I get really tired at night. And one thing that my parents did for me that I'm not doing a great job of is praying with my kids at nighttime. And I should teach my children how to pray like my parents taught me how to pray. I don't feel like we're doing a great job of that. So I would say I'm a 6 on that.
Okay.
And we go to church a lot. We do a lot of cool things. We
Right.
serve a lot of people, like the Arkansas homeless thing that we just did and spent 40 grand. But like, if all I'm doing is spending money to help people, okay, great. That's awesome. But like, there's other things I should be doing. So I would say I'm a 6 on the spiritual. I got a lot of growth to do.
Love that. Yeah, I think it's like the connectedness that you feel from it,
Yeah.
right? Like that's
Yeah.
important.
And by the way, guys, in the side chat, what you guys should be doing, okay, you guys should be also voting or rating yourself on all of these things. I want to see what, as you got, I'm being all transparent with you guys. Got 800 people in here, and y'all
People in the
knuckleheads
chat
are
just
not
giving
being
themselves
transparent
10
with
out
me.
of 10. It's like, yeah, I'm 11 out of 10. I'm rocking. Everything's great.
Kyle says this is great. Well, Kyle, it's because I'm being transparent. And you guys aren't being transparent. Throw out some numbers. I want to see some numbers. Show me that I don't have to be the only transparent, vulnerable person in here. Okay.
Love it. So then, moving to career, I could probably guess where this one would be for you, but career is like, you like what you do, you understand like the goals and targets that you're trying to achieve, your relationship to the goals, appreciating the the work environment that you've created around you, and you're just excited and just passionate about what you do.
What do you think it is for me?
100 out of 10.
Yeah, it is I would say legitimately, this could not go any higher. This is like, I dominate because I found great partners. My life was changed when I met you. You and I have really done a lot of amazing things together. I felt like you were a long lost brother I needed in my life. Hopefully you feel the same thing about me.
Yep.
You're the yin to my yang. Jamil's the yin to my yang in a lot of ways. Josiah, Zach, Eddie, a recent relationship we have in our, like, we just have so many amazing, amazing people that we've partnered with. And I mean, think about our team members that we've hired and brought on in the last couple of years.
Yeah, we have some amazing people.
We have
honestly
really
great.
done a good job. And I think that we have found the right people. It's not the how, it's the who.
Yep.
And I think we've all done a really great job of that. For me, now here's the bad part of this. is that because I love what I do so much, I think that career thing could go from a 10 down to an 8, and I could give that extra 2 points to my family and go from, an 8.2 with my family to a 10.2, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, 100%. I hear that. So as we're getting to the last one here on personal, this is really the like recreation. Like I know for you, it's probably like playing golf. The having friendships and doing community activities, having quiet time. Having consistency consistency of maybe it's routine that just like gets you feeling good, or consistency of like progress, like in on like personal like endeavors, or like learning new like personal skills. Like for me, that's like I did the marathon earlier this year. Like that was like a personal feat. Obviously that interlaps with like health, but also personal. But like just like any personal things that you're like just striving after kind of fit in that personal bucket. Here, what would you say on that scale?
I remember the summers a couple summers ago where we would go to my country club and play multiple times, sometimes twice in a week. We would just play these
Yeah.
little like 9-hole scrambles with our acquisition team and whatnot. And I lost sight of that. I put a lot of time and energy away from my personal and physical taking care of myself because I feel like God put me on this earth to serve other people. And so a lot of times I make that as an excuse to not serve myself or take care of my own body,
Hmm.
which is ironic because it's like you need to be healthy,
Your temple
happy.
so you can take care of everyone around you.
Right. So I would definitely say my personal is probably the lowest. I'd say it's probably a 3.
So, and hopefully as, people are sharing what they're coming up with. I know like when I just recently, had went through and did this, and my wheel was definitely lopsided. And it's really, when we're looking at this on the scale of 1 to 10, then what you really want to do is like, if you have a pen, like being able to connect the dots all around and see if you actually make a good circle, or if you turn into some like decrepit looking like
Yeah, it's like if
hexagon
you
thing.
have let's say you have a burr in your bicycle tire and you have something stuck on your tire, you can feel it. It's like
Yeah.
I have that I have that big time in my personal category where that spoke is broken. My family needs to be stronger. And for some people, like if I and this is the thing too, is like you don't want to compare yourself to anybody because if I compare myself to who I was 20 years ago, that's not okay, right? And then
Yeah.
other people comparing themselves to me in my current condition compared to who they are today is also not okay.
Yeah.
So I'm taking this I'm considering who I am today, not who I was 5 years ago or 2 years ago, like my current resources and my current team and my current everything, my current mindset and my current relationships. My family should be at an 11 and it is close to a 9. Right?
Yeah.
And I think most people's perception of my family, if they compared it to the way they hang out with their family and whatever, they would probably say my family's a 50 and theirs is a 5. But again,
Mhm.
we're not comparing ourselves. Guys, you have to look at your own rating individually. Don't compare yourself to me or anybody else. It's you, how you feel, what's your gut reaction. And personally, maybe if I amplified my personal, it would also help out my family. Maybe I'd be happier, and me be more joyful to be around. I don't know. So I gotta clean up my spoke. I gotta make it more of a rounded wheel.
Yeah, 100%. And I think this is, what we're doing, like the beginning of this like goal setting exercise is really like we're taking inventory. That's what we're doing right now. It's like we're checking out all these areas in our life, right? And so I think Abe mentioning like I've learned so much from these low scores, right? The thing that, the next stages of this is like looking at, okay, well, here's where I am. And then it's like going through and starting to list out like, well, how do I get this closer to a 10, right? And so I'm just going to give a couple examples on this. I don't think we have to go through like each individual one, but like maybe let's do this with you, Pace. Like let's take like one area. What's one area that's not at a 10, and like
My
talk
family.
through. Family. All right. So family, being at an 8.2, what's the gap between that getting to an actual 10 out of 10? Like, what are like just some ideas? Because what we want to do with this is like we want to just start putting some ideas out there and then put actual goals and intentions behind that for the year is like the next stage of the process. So what are just some ideas that could help get it closer to a 10?
So I've known this for, half a year or so. So hiring an executive assistant was a really big deal for me this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something I encourage you to do too. And I wrote you an email recently. I was like, hey, you need to get your own EA. And you're like, oh, I don't think it's a full-time position. I'm like, I think it's 2 full-time positions if you really took inventory. And one of those things is I having my EA set up dinner reservations and a babysitter and making it so it's on the calendar. So instead of me asking my wife, "Hey, do you want to go on a date this week?" It's like, "No, we're going on a date and here's a new restaurant and here's a new reservation and we're going to even get a driver to come pick us up so that her and I can, instead of driving there, we can sit in the back of the car and talk and hold hands and actually connect." And so I think that I've already moved towards that. I dragged my feet on hiring the EA, but I do now have Katie, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
that will be one thing, is going on consistent dates with my wife, making her feel like the woman she really is that she's being chased and courted by her husband. And then I also think um, one thing that I really failed on, just to be transparent, is that this month I told my wife and my kids this whole year we're gonna go to we're gonna go to Hawaii. We're gonna go to Hawaii. We're gonna go to Hawaii for Christmas, for Christmas, for Christmas. And I canceled Hawaii.
Yeah.
I canceled Hawaii because I wanted to finish my book with Bigger Pockets. And
Yeah.
like now reflecting here, it's like, did I really make the right decision? The answer is no, I didn't make the right decision. Like my daughter Corbin's 4 one time. My daughter Monday's, the age she's at right now, one time. My son Asher will leave in a couple of years from the household. I will only have this time one time, but I can write a book any time in my life.
Yeah.
So I would Travis says Pace is being real right now. This is just you guys showed up on a Tuesday night to hang out with us. I'm being transparent and I'm telling you the honest truth of some mistakes I made this year. And I should not have done that. And I got to go. And now that I'm talking about this, I got to go apologize to my wife. I don't think I need to. My wife understands and is grateful for everything that we have. And she's totally gung ho for everything. But I remember, this is the last thing I'll be. And I know Cody probably is like, Pace, don't make this longer than it needs to be.
No, we're fine. Like I'm good on time. I can go all night. This is fun. Like I think this is great. I think it's helping a lot of people, like, because there's not enough people talking about this. So I think this is super helpful.
So what's interesting is when I was younger, my dad would tell us, okay, so we moved a lot, right? So I moved when I was from birth to 19 when I went on my mission to Korea. My parents moved us 26 times. 26 times. Now, some of them were like 10 miles down the road, right? But other times were from Utah to Arizona, Arizona to Utah, vice for all the back and forth, back and forth. And I remember my dad would, in order to make us feel okay about it, he would tell the boys, Chance, Pace, Corbin, Hudson, he would tell the 4 boys, hey, don't worry, when we move to Utah, I'm gonna get quads, I'm gonna get motorcycles, we're gonna spend a lot more time together. And you know what happened? My
None of
dad
that.
never did that. And it wasn't even about the motorcycle, and it wasn't even about any of that. It was just, oh man, this is an interesting conversation. So it was literally that my dad told me he was going to do something, and because he didn't follow through with it, it left some sort of residue in me of like, oh, maybe I did something wrong as a child. Maybe I didn't live up to my dad's whatever. Maybe I didn't deserve it, and I probably have some internal trauma because of that. And so I got to remind myself, if I make a commitment to my kids, I'm following through. And I didn't follow through for the Hawaii trip, and I know that's some first world problem bullshit. But the reality is I made a commitment. I didn't follow through with it, whatever that is. Whether if I tell my kids I'm giving them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a trip to Hawaii, I'm going to follow through. Then
Yeah.
the other thing is I'm at this appointment today, okay, to buy this business. And one of the biggest reasons why this guy is selling his business for 0 down, this dog grooming business, is because his son comes to the dog grooming business with him every day. And that's his after school activity, is watching his dad groom dogs. And his father, to me, on camera today, we filmed the whole 2-hour conversation, by the way. I'm going to be releasing it to I'll be releasing it to two groups, sub 2 students, and then also the people that sign up for the startwithvas.com. I'll give the whole 2-hour unedited conversation of me working and structuring this business deal with this guy. So I'm sitting here and his son actually chirps up and says, yeah, maybe my dad can spend more time with me now. It's super interesting. Like, the things you're not realizing, and you think that like your job is super important, and it is, but where's the balance? And like, this wheel is really making me reflect. So hopefully a lot of you guys are enjoying this as much as I'm enjoying this. This is great.
Yeah, no, that was great. And so, what is there? Is there anything else that comes to mind? And we'll end it on this next one, as far as on this part of the goal setting.
On the family
Really,
side of things,
yeah. Like, is there anything else that you're like, I also want to do this, or I think this would also be great to be able to do, or just if there's anything else. I'm just digging, because this is what people should be doing when they're like trying to figure out how to get to a 10. Is like, they should write down the things that come to mind, and then be asking themselves again, like, is there anything else? Is there anything that like my wife or my husband would say that we should be doing, or my kids, right? Like, we're trying to pull additional things into here.
yeah. So I look at, maybe this is just a personality defect with me, but I look at my number one job for my children is so that they can grow up to be resourceful and valuable to the marketplace, whatever that may be. Because I learned how to work hard, but not how to be valuable to the workplace. And you would assume, well, don't those go hand in hand? Yeah, to a certain degree. But like, you could work really hard at digging ditches, but there's machines that dig ditches. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a valuable thing. Yeah, I worked hard, but I didn't provide value.
Yeah.
So like, I obsess over that and making sure that my children grow up as resourceful, money making machines. And sometimes that's not really great. Sometimes I probably, when my kids get older, are going to be like, my dad was a great provider. My dad definitely loved us. My dad definitely kissed on us. My kids are very loved, and I'm very affectionate. I not only kiss my kids, hug my kids, throw my kids, swim with my kids. I bite my kids on the arm just because I'm like, you're so damn cute, and I bite them. But I think that I probably need to turn that part of me off a little bit more frequently, where I'm not so much business dad saying, hey, Asher, how's your YouTube channel going? Hey, Asher, how's your trailer rental business going? It should be like, hey, Asher, you want to hang out and read a book, or you want to hang out and you want to go see a movie together? Hey, you want to go do this and want to go do an activity? I should probably make it less about making money and more about him as an individual, and like, what do you want to do? I want to learn. I want to go do something you want to do. What do you want to do?
Yeah. No, I love that. So I think, just with those three things of like, having dinner reservations and having a scheduled driver, so, that quality time's there. And then the follow through on like, planning future trips, and, turning off some of the business when you're hanging out with Asher, and, it just doing like father son, like random shit, playing arcade games or swimming or movies or that sort of stuff. Right. So, with that, and guys, like, as you're doing this on your own, I would definitely make sure to take the time and just continue to try to just pull things from within to get more of these things out, to get you to figure out how to get to a 10. And really the next step in this process is, as you're looking at this next year, is starting to identify and plan some things in advance, right? And so just giving, looking at just the few things that you had on here already, Pace, like, so like the dinner reservations and scheduling that with a driver, like that would be, putting like a smart plan behind that, or a smart goal behind that, something that's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic with what's going on in your and Laura's life. And then, the T is, it's time sensitive, right? Looking at like, okay, putting not, and it's like, in our busy lives, it makes it not feel as like connected when there's like a scheduled plan for all this. But in the reality, it's like that's how our lives have to be because of all the things we're doing. But like, how many times do you want to do that a month? And then like putting that as like a target, like I want to do that twice a month, or I want to do that 3 times a month, or maybe it's once a month, right? And so as you're like, what I'll do as I'm going through this is I actually have an Excel sheet that, integrator shit, but I have an Excel sheet that I have just each of these areas. And then I just start putting the different things that I want to do. So like one of them I put on there is I want to get better at skiing. So I put this upcoming year, I want to ski 12 times. And it's just then as I'm doing it and I'm like reflecting on a weekly or monthly basis, I can look at these different areas and I'm like, all right, I'm checking this off because I'm getting better at that thing. Or, Heil and I have been talking about going to Europe since we've been dating for the last 3 years. So like we already have.
Book the trip, bro. I mean, you could literally work 4 hours a day on our businesses and then spend the rest of the day hanging out in Europe.
And that's what, we already booked in June. It's June or July. We're going to Iceland, and then we're going to go to Norway because I have friends there back from my MLM days, and then we're going to go to Paris after that. So, we booked just some of the trip as far as like we got the dates scheduled to the Airbnbs and stuff. So,
people
just
want you to pull the sheet back up for a little bit.
Okay, let me pull that back up. Entire screen. So like that, that would obviously fall in the category of like that kind of hits personal, but then it also hits, family, right? Because that's, building the family that, me and Heil have together, right? But then personal, because it's like we're gonna do fun things and we're gonna go, we both love history, so we're gonna go to museums and like do that sort of stuff. So, what I'm doing is I'm looking at in each of these areas, where the gaps are of like how do I get to a 10, and then planning things, right? So maybe it's something to put a metric around. Maybe it's the gym because that's an easy one. Like physical, maybe it's I'm going to work out 3 days a week, every week for the whole year, or I'm going to work out 3 days a week for 50 weeks of the year, and 2 weeks are totally off. And being able to put that in there is like that's the target of how much I'm going to exercise, and then I'm going to eat a sensible diet. I'm not going to eat freaking donuts every night like I have been 5 nights a week, or whatever that is. It's just like putting, for you to get to a 10, it's identifying like what are some of the ideas that you have, and then it's actually putting putting either in your notebook or on an Excel sheet or in your notes on your phone or wherever you're going to be reviewing your goals on a regular basis as you go into this new year, and just being able to have that mapped out and just do it for each area.
Hey guys, as Cody and I are chatting, I'm watching the chat. Seems like a lot of people are getting a lot of value. We've got about 700 plus people watching tonight. Give me one of your guys' spokes on your wheel and one thing you're going to do to fix it. Okay. One thing you're going to do to fix it. I'm curious to see what you guys are doing. Okay. Effie has this great thing she says right here. She's like, family's taking me on a detour for 1 to 2 years. Love that. And I love, she sent me a text message the other day of her holding her granddaughter, which was freaking awesome. I love it. I think this has been good for a lot of people. I like watching what other people, because probably 500 people in here I know really, really well. Other 200 people in here, we don't know each other well enough. So good to see you guys in here. I want to see your guys' spokes. Jason Finch says, financial, join sub 2. One thing that's going to be a lot of fun as we start winding this down, thank you guys for showing up, is I'm super curious for the people that are interested in building their business, automating their business, and going that direction. How many people are going to be in the startwithvas.com group? How many people are going to be joining us in that group? We got 700 people in here. I imagine it's probably full already. How many people are going to be joining us in that group? Cody's going to be running it primarily. I'll jump in there, especially with like the dog grooming business.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking about doing with the dog grooming business is taking it and automating it and then gifting it to a sub-2 student local. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
almost take that business and go, hey, I think that dog grooming business could make $200,000 a year. And basically gifting it to somebody that could take it, right? Type of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
I'd love.
think
Go ahead.
I think the thing too, and because I saw a few people like asking, they're like, well, what is this thing? So I don't know if you want me to go into that or if you want to.
Yeah, go. I'd love to go through it. This is something I challenged Cody to do. I told everybody in December, Cody and I had a planning meeting as a partnership, and he's like, what are some things I should be working on? And I said, look, dude, here's the thing is I feel like you're not talking enough. I feel like there's so many superpowers that you have in terms of running the back end of the business and managing employees and automating systems and processes. And I think, and Cody's like, well, I don't have a lot of time. And I was like, well, I get that, but why don't we take a small group of people and you spend 2 hours a day, like 30 days at a time, blocking out one business and showing people, not telling people, but showing people how to automate their business and letting people watch that live in like a private setting, because there's a lot of private information, right? Like this dog grooming business has numbers and addresses and customers' names and P&Ls, right? Profit and loss sheets and bank statements and things that I think need to be created, need to be shown, gone through, and people need to see the back end of what a business actually looks like. And so I told Cody, create a small tribe of people, 100 people max. And I challenge you, go transform 12 businesses this year for other people and create a cool little group. And so Cody's like, all right, should I do that? Should I do that sometime in 2023? I was like, dude, do that for January 1. I'll even bring in some of the businesses. Like, let's freaking go. There's so many people that don't understand how to run an actual behind the scenes business. And so I challenged him to do it. And so Cody, over the last couple of weeks, created something called startwithvas.com. And he's bringing in 100 people to work with him over the next 12 months or so to see how he automates and builds businesses the way that they should be done.
Yeah.
So anyway, did I do a good job explaining it, or do you want to explain deeper?
Yeah. So I guess just giving just some insight to everybody on that as well is, it was Pace's idea on, hey, let's let people be able to follow along with some businesses that we're going to do this with in 2023. And so essentially what I was sitting there because Pace is always, Pace has so much amazing content on so many aspects of business and real estate and just so many different topics. And so when I was, looking at, I'm like, well, where are people struggling? Like, where do I constantly have the same questions? And these same questions keep coming up. And it's people saying, Cody, how do I hire people? How do I train them? How do I manage them? How do I delegate them? How do I know when it's the right time to either let them go, or how do I, maybe give them a pay increase when they're doing a good job, but not set bad expectations for like frequency of pay increases? How do I do all of this? And so essentially what I've already built and put together really wasn't even something I had to build, because it's something we've already done in all of our businesses. I basically just pulled the things that we already do within our companies, within, our real estate companies, within, Start Virtual, within, our media company, within everything that we do. And I just put it all together in one place. That's all I really did. And then I'm basically taking you through, and this could apply for any type of business, any type of service business really could have this applied to it, where if you suck at delegating, if you suck at hiring, or maybe you're okay at it and you're just trying to get better at it, I basically just put everything as far as, okay, first of all, how do you delegate? How do you even put this together to understand the process for delegation? And I literally teach you exactly how I teach our team to do it, and how we've gotten to the point where between our companies, we have almost 800 employees, from virtual assistants to US based staff. We've put together this process. And so we've gotten pretty decent at doing this thing. And so really, if you need to
here's a question to ask everybody. How different would your life be if you actually learned the skills that Cody just talked about? How different would your life be if you're looking at even your spokes, right? So even for me, like family, spiritual, personal, a lot of that stuff is stuff that I have to take off my plate, right? I have to automate. I have to create systems, processes. I have to bring in people and manage people. How different would your life be if you learned the things that Cody just said? And then on top of it, how much of a wrecking ball would you be in terms of destroying competition? Number one. And then number two, how much of an asset would you be walking into somebody else's business or even a seller appointment or whatever it is, understanding what Cody just talked about? How different would your life be if you knew that stuff? Crazy.
100%. And so it's really looking at, from taking that to like what life could look like and being able to essentially just look at, hey, I can basically just learn everything that Cody's banged his head against the wall and stressed about for years, and basically be able to show you, hey, this is how you delegate. This is how you actually go through the process of interviewing somebody. This is how you go through the process of hiring them, onboarding them. This is everything around virtual assistant related. So, finding them, hiring them, onboarding them, training them, managing them. How do you create a process for actually building your training for your virtual assistants? Like all of these things essentially just put together, and we're going to continue adding on to it every month through 2023, essentially, where we're going to be taking different businesses essentially.
Yeah. So what there's a couple of people who said, hey, is this going to be 30 days or a year? It's going to be for a year, but each business that we break down and automate will be for 30-day spurts at a time because we want to show you different businesses. What you're going to find is that the majority of businesses have the exact same problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, hey, I'm going to do a real estate business and then a dog grooming business, and they're going to be dramatically different. They're going to be dramatically similar. And you'll be blown away by watching the same processes and systems that you can learn and then go implement those into just about any business is going to be kind of a cookie cutter with a little bit of different frosting on it. But overall, it's going to be the same type of cookie, same shape, size, flavor, etc. Just the frosting might be a little bit different color. That's it. So Dustin says the Barton Business Boot Camp. Okay. So anyway, what's interesting is I told Cody, I go, keep it really small, only let 100 people in or so, cap it at 100. And the reason being is you want people to have an intimate ability to ask questions. So like with sub 2, what's cool is what we created in sub 2 is you have a lot of Zooms that people can pick and choose from on a weekly basis. And so our Zooms stay relatively small so people can ask questions, hang out, get to know each other, et cetera. And so you want to create an environment where people that are like, I want to learn how to automate my business. I want to learn how to jump in and automate somebody else's business. I want to learn how to delegate. I want to learn how to get things off my plate. If you literally learned the ability to delegate, I told somebody, I think maybe Cody should write this book. I told Cody a while back, I said, you should write a book called That's Not My Job.
I'll do it in 2023.
You should. That's not my job.
I can do that.
That's not my job. And it's essentially the story of how to delegate and how to automate things. What I also realized is that when people don't delegate and people don't automate, you're robbing somebody from having a job inside your organization. And you're robbing yourself of having a well-rounded wheel. That's not my, you better go trademark that. Somebody's going to steal that idea. I'm telling you, that's not my job should be your book title for this next coming year. And what you should do is you should document what we do in this next 12 months as like an individual chapter in the book and essentially have the same principles in every single chapter. It's almost like that book should be a documentary of 12 businesses taking the same exact processes of automations, delegation, hiring, onboarding, and scaling a business and say, these things are not my job. That's why I got to automate, delegate, and systematize so I can scale. Yeah, Dina Johnson says, so what I hear you saying is I don't need to know it all. Hell no. No, it's preferred that you don't. It's absolutely preferred that you don't. It is who, not how. Always who, not how. And so Cody will show you how to find the who and how to get the people doing the who, right? Or how to get the who one, and then have the who do the how. It's always starts with the who. Get the right who, go into the how. Okay. And that is a great title. That's not my job.
I like it.
And instead of like the sub 2 logos like this, you could say, that's not my job, and have this as your logo.
People will love that.
People would love that. So, guys, this Cody, here's what we should do. Is there a different? Is there another follow up with like the SMART goals and all that kind of stuff? Like, is there a second part to this?
On the goal setting that we're going through right now?
Yeah.
I mean, really, it just. I mean, I can go like super deep into.
I don't think we do. I think tonight's been great. An hour and a half talking about goal setting. I think a lot of people had a well-rounded look at this. I saw the chat blow up. Guys, whatever your number one takeaway was, please throw it in the side chat. Please. I want to hear it. This has been fun for me. I was very transparent, very honest, open book for you guys so that you guys can all be honest and open with each other as well. Okay. Put your big takeaway away tonight as we wrap up. And also take a screenshot of this. DM Cody. Tell him, here's my big takeaway. Thank you for running this. Thank you for walking through that exercise. Take a screenshot, put on your stories, tag Cody. Tell him thank you. Also, tell Cody, or go tell Ryan Pineda he's going to get a beat down by Pace Morby in the golf tournament. Okay. Make sure you don't forget to DM Ryan Pineda. Okay. This was a lot of fun. When do you plan on starting the training? Are you starting the training like first week of January?
I would say probably the second week of January. We're going to identify the business that we're going to do it with. But you know, obviously everything that we already talked about, I've already built, you know, have put together in there as far as, you know, how to delegate, the finding of talent, interview, onboarding, training, managing, like that's already put together.
Okay.
We're really just going to be adding in the, you know, everything that we're doing live to everything that's already been created. And then each month we'll continue to add more and more through all of 2023.
Okay, cool. So Alexis Morgan, she says she's joined. She says, I'm waiting on my Manifest You login stuff. Awesome. So what we'll do, Alexis, just FYI, it'll probably be morning time that we do these Zooms. Obviously, they'll be recorded so you can go back and watch them. But what we're going to do is pick a business every 30 days, a new business every 30 days to go through and automate. And I think we're going to start with either the dog grooming business. One of the people that join this start with a real estate business, or C, the insurance business. I'm just hoping I can get a gauge. What business do you guys think that we should do? Do you think we should do the dog business, the dog grooming business that I just acquired 0 down? Do you think we do the insurance business or the real estate business? Amistad says, yes, dog. Insurance is profiting huge. Yeah, the insurance company already is turning a profit. So I kind of feel like it's a little bit of a cheat. I feel like a lot of people don't need to see a business that's already profitable right out of the first training. Okay, Ron says real estate business. Kathy says, okay, real estate business. Dogs, baby. Always go with the doggo. Sam says, good to see you, Sam.
Jesse said that Maj's cleaning business. It was interesting because Maj has a carpet cleaning business, which is the same type of business my dad had, and would never outsource anything. He did everything. So
I wonder if we do Maj's cleaning business, if Maj ends up joining that tribe, I wonder if we do Maj's cleaning business the first 30 days. We bring in some experts on cleaning business that have some automations and start working on that. And then what we do is we do the dog grooming business second in month 2, because I think what's going to happen is I'm going to get my attorney involved and go back and forth on the contract, because I've never bought a business creatively before.
Yeah.
And so I got to draft up a contract. I don't see any contracts that I can just do. And also I don't trust contracts I download offline. I want to go through, tell our contract attorney, hey, here's everything I'm looking at in terms of acquiring a business. and have him go consult. And I might spend some money, give away that contract to the people in that tribe. Like, hey, you want to go buy a business? Here's the business. Here's the contract I used. And then I can start that business in February after you've already gone through Maj's business. If I mean, I'm just spitballing. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think we look at that as a potential option. I think there's just some of those things of like, all right, what's CRMs do they use, and it's just figuring out like what are some of the things that they need to have in their business, and then we plug in the VA and how to delegate that and like reduce the amount of time they're spending on stupid tasks, and then increase the amount of time they're spending on profit generating and higher revenue generating tasks. I mean, really the premise will be the same for each business, and it's how you really build out any business, identifying like where are they spending their time, what is the amount of what is that dollar per hour time worth that they're spending on those things, and identifying how do we take those things off their plate. And that's really going to be what we do on any of them.
Love it. And guys, on the business acquisition side of things, people that are in that tribe with Cody, what I'll do is I'll also document and follow up with you guys privately these full conversations I'm having with business owners and my pursuit to buy 12 businesses with zero down. I'll follow up with you guys and give you all the tracking and the full conversations. Like the conversation I had today with the dog grooming business was so unbelievable that I like as I left with Bobby, I was like, I can't put any of that on YouTube. I can't give that. I can't give that. I got to give that to like sub two and this tribe that Cody's going to create. I got to give that to somebody that's not going to go and like talk about this. Is like private information. This is like you need to sign NDA to have people actually listen to this conversation because it's private. Like you're talking financial numbers. You're talking about personal issues that have caused people to have issues in their business that need to be fixed. You can't just put that stuff out there. Like this has got to be inside of a private group. So look forward to doing that a lot with you guys as well. Like Alexis Morgan, I know a lot of people in here are starting to. Galen says sexy Bobby. Yeah, hot Bobby. We call him hot Bobby. Yeah, hot Bobby came with me. So with a lot of people are hot on this business buying kick. And so I told everybody back in October, November, I'll go and acquire businesses this year and show you the back end of those and show you how Cody and I will onboard some of these things and automate them and basically take a business that either is dying or a business that is stagnant. And the seller's like, yo, take this off my hands. And then we'll turn into a business that's producing $100,000, $200,000 in net profit a year just out of one little business. So should be a really fun 2023. Really looking forward to it.
I think it's a lot of fun too. I mean, I think it's, this is just one of those things. And, I appreciate you getting me out of my comfort zone because the more conversations I've had with people, it's like they're just saying like, I wish there was something like this that existed. And to me, it's like, this is the stuff that comes naturally to me. And like, I naturally like just see these glaring issues within businesses and am able to identify them. But I guess it's a talent or something.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like Melissa Leak says, I really need to hire a VA and delegate what I started in my business. Well, here's what's cool, Melissa. You're gonna watch like if you go to startwithvas.com, you're one of the 100 people that Cody lets in. You're gonna watch. It's not just learning. You're literally watching. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a contractor, I couldn't watch a video on somebody just explaining to me how to build a house. Like I needed to watch somebody building a house. Like, okay, you're going to run into this and then you're going to see this happen. And then this is going to trigger this. And then it's going to go into this. It's the same way that we teach inside of sub two, right? It's like, I'm going to bring in sellers. I'm going to bring in a title company. I'm going to bring in the agent who I'm working the deal with and have them learn how to fill out the contract. And we're going to fill out a contract and do all the, like, that's the only way that somebody like me can learn. And so that's why I challenged Cody to do this in 2023. It's a big part of what he's trying to accomplish. So I look forward to seeing this happen and I look forward to participating. It's going to be a lot of freaking fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll be cool seeing the changes that are made in people's companies too. Cause like, from doing the masterminds that me and you do together for sub two and just like having conversations with people and just noticing these little things that people are they just don't know that they don't know, and being able to point those out and give them the resource or the knowledge to go and change it. And then 3 months later, it's like everything has changed. And it's like, oh my gosh, it was literally just these little things that they didn't know that made all the difference.
Yeah. Jody Evans, shout out Jody Evans. I haven't texted you. I'm so sorry. I made a goal to not look at my phone for the most of the week. Bro, he cooked a pineapple upside down cake, I think, and sent it to me. Shout out Jody Evans. Thank you, brother. We love you. You're amazing. One of my lenders in a couple of deals, and he's such a great community member inside of Sub 2, which is really such a great guy. Really appreciate you. Anyway, look forward to hanging out with people multiple times in 2023. I unfortunately will be traveling 1/3 the amount I traveled in 2022. We will be doing a lot more golden ticket events for Sub 2 students. So I look forward to hanging out with a lot of Sub 2 students that fly into Arizona. Cody and I are going to double down on our mastermind as well, in terms of what we provide to the table. So I'll be spending a lot more time at home than I did in 2022. A lot less speaking engagements. Just going to start saying no to a lot more stuff. But we look forward to hanging out with you guys a lot more inside of, that little tribe with Cody, talking about how to automate and build businesses. So I'm super excited about this.
It's amazing. I mean, even Aaron's here. My VAs literally do everything that is not the next step everything that the next step is not money. I mean, Aaron's a good friend up in Utah. I mean, shout out to you, Aaron.
Aaron's awesome. She just texted me the other night. She's great. All right, guys, we appreciate you. We wish you guys Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays for people that are not celebrating Christmas, and a Happy New Year. I will see you guys on Sunday night for the first episode of Get Creative. Same time as Sunday service, same place, same time allotment, just a little bit different format. We're going to be highlighting a lot more of you guys on the show and your creative deals. We're going to be giving away money every single month. Looking forward to that. We're going to take some of the YouTube income and gift it to the audience that is doing creative deals and creative business acquisitions. And this week, I'm going to buy a golf cart with creative finance and document that. And I'm going to try and win the prize of the creative $5,000 giveaway myself. So look forward to hanging out with you guys. Cody, when are you closing down the startwithvas.com?
It's actually going to be the end of the day tomorrow. I mean, or if 100 people get in tonight, then it's tonight, really. Just whenever.
And you'll send them an email like when we're going to start doing the training and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. For everyone that's involved with it, as soon as we're getting started, we'll make sure to get an email out to everybody that's involved, so they could plug in. And then if they can't make it to any, certain things, obviously all of it will be recorded, and we'll get that saved.
Love it. Hey, Joel, I'm going to break down inside of Sub 2 how Cody and I just bought a turnkey creative finance new construction deal just this week. I think we close escrow this week, and then we got to go through the process. It might be 2 months before I get to it once the deal is all the way done. But we'll start talking about it a lot more. So Ahmed says, why can't I find the website? If you are outside of the country, a lot of times these websites are hard to work. So go to startwithvas.com. Tigger says she can't find the website either. You might want to let me type it in real quick.
It worked when I just pulled it up.
Let's see.
They're using their Androids.
Oh yeah, I see it.
It should work on all devices.
Oh, there you go. I just gave you guys another link. It's pacejmorby.com/blah, blah, blah.
A bunch of mess.
Okay. Bunch of mess. So, yeah, I just pulled it up. Jason Yesser says, is this going to be part of the Sub 2 membership at all? Bro, I just hired a full-time underwriter for Sub 2. That's going to cost me an extra probably $12,000 a month on top of the 23 Zooms we do on a weekly basis. You don't want more training in Sub 2. Okay. What we're going to be doing a lot more in Sub 2 is I'm going to start spending a lot more time in Q&As, longer Q&As, more frequent as well, since I'll be home a lot more. So no, this will not be in Sub 2, unfortunately. I literally can't put everything and the kitchen sink there. I also wanted Cody to have a smaller tribe of people that work through this, because I want people to be able to ask questions about their individual business. And because it's such a diverse topic, like wide topic. I want there to be less people. So sub 2, believe me, you will be blown away by what I have planned for sub 2. Let's not talk about that. You will cry. You will, one night in 2023, you will cry, especially for the students that have been in sub 2 for 2 years or a year. They're going to continue. They make these posts. They're like, how does Pace continually add more value? What was it, 2 weeks ago, I dropped $100,000 of my personal cash on sub 2 students to help them hire employees and all that kind of stuff. Literally cash infusion into their businesses, 100 grand. We are going to continue to overwhelm you in sub 2 with unbelievable stuff. But this is business building and automations and all that kind of stuff. This will be inside of startwithvas.com. So should be a lot of fun. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Ooh, this is interesting. Kyle Ross. I talked to Ryan Pineda about this. He is going to put the sub 2 mentorship inside of his Tykes ecosphere. So you can use Tycoin to join sub 2. I'm not the one that receives any of the money from that. It goes to a company called New Reach. I'm not the one making that, but I promise you, plant-based Maj, will that underwriter be able to underwrite businesses? No, that they focus primarily on real estate. And then for you to underwrite businesses inside of sub 2, it'd be like conflicting information. So sub 2 will have a full-time underwriter at some point in January or February. That salaried position will end up costing me personally 150 grand a year, probably somewhere around there. And they'll be available. There's a really good multifamily mentorship that is $1,000 a month. So like I think you pay $8 grand to join, and that's $1,000 a month. I won't name it, but it's a really good one. I'm a part of it. Me and Cody are part of it. It's $1,000 a month ongoing. And they have 1 day a week for 2 hours that they do underwriting. I'm bringing I think it's going to be 6 hours a day, 5 days a week of underwriting. And it costs you no money per month. So bada bing, bada boom, 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 boom. It's going to be pretty dope. Alexis knows the name, but he does have a great mentorship. No other Q&A. We're gonna end it. We've been on here a lot longer than we planned on. Guys, we obviously love you. Sub 2 students, I'll see you multiple times. By the way, sub 2 students, tomorrow morning, Vina Jetty, myself will be underwriting 5 multifamily deals, 8:00 Arizona time. I'm gonna drop the link in the Facebook group, and Melissa will email it out to you. Surprise Zoom tomorrow morning for 2 hours underwriting multifamily with Pace and Vina. We will see you guys tomorrow morning. And for people that are joining startwithvas.com, we will see you in a couple of weeks talking about how to build your business and be a freaking badass. Cody, good job, bro. You're the man. Appreciate you. This was a great exercise. People loved it.
Appreciate you. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys.